Alright, I'm going to show my method of solving a 3x3x7 puzzle. Starting from a point after you get it back to its normal shape. Well, it's cubic shape, I guess. Cuboid shape, it's not a cube. The only thing to take note of is the pieces, the 3x3 pieces there in the middle. They don't have any extended layers. You want those to be oriented correctly such that it could be solved using 180-degree rotations. So basically, if it has the same color adjacent or the color on the opposite side adjacent, it's good. If it doesn't have that, it would have needed to be flipped. So I could technically solve the central layer doing nothing but 180-degree rotations like that. Alright, you can consult any 3x3 tutorial if you don't actually know how to do that. You probably should be doing that first if you don't. Anyway, okay, so starting from this position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to group up, well, I'm going to make like mini groups of the pieces, like the corner groups. I'm going to ignore the edges for now. So I have those two that are kind of aligned. I'm just going to turn this stuff on the bottom. Nothing lines up. I know that the piece is on the top. So I'm going to basically just move them up there and find the piece that it belongs with it. After I've done that, I'm going to move it, I'm going to position it on such that it matches up with its edge piece there. And I'm going to store it on one of the other layers that I'm not going to be using to group pieces. So I'm going to take note of what that color is, and I'm going to try to work on only that color. So I can basically solve all of those corner groups on the one side of the puzzle. So there's another one. And I'm going to store it down there. Like that. We have that one down there. I didn't match the colors, but I'm going to have to move this one later anyway in order to group it up with the other one, so it really doesn't matter. Okay. So I have that one now. I'm going to group it with the other one. And put it on that layer. If like the colors were correct, I'd basically just move it to the other side and then flip it like that. And I just put them on there, bring it down. From here, I'm going to do all of these at the same time. That's why I wanted to stick with the ones of the same color down there, so that I can actually much more easily tell if they're in their correct positions, so I can just group them all up later. I take note of like which ones have two pieces that are already joined up adjacent to each other. So this layer right here has all four of them. I actually don't want that yet. I only want to have two, so I'm going to ignore this one for now. If there's none, I'd also ignore that layer. I have two here, and there's two there. If I have those, I'm going to place them on one of either the right or the left side of the puzzle. It doesn't matter which. So like I have these two, I could put those two on the other side, it really doesn't matter. And after I've done that, I'm going to exchange this piece group and this piece group with each other on the upper layer. I can mess some of the stuff on the bottom, and then I'll just undo it later. What that'll do is it'll swap the two that are paired from the one side to the other. It's going to be different groups, but I'm going to have two pairs. And the ones that don't have any grouped up, one group will form, and the ones that have two are basically all solved. One of those groups will get messed up. So I'll have two on every layer then. So I'm going to just do this really simply. I'm going to move one of the sides down. I'm going to move the other one to the back there. and then move it to the bottom so that if I can do a 180 degree rotation and exchange the two. So after I've done that, I bring them back up in the opposite order, and I'm going to place all of the ones that are actually grouped now in the back. So they're in the back, they're in the back. Okay, so they're all in the back now. And I'm going to do the exact same thing to group these ones up. So bring that down, move it over, bring that one to the bottom, exchange the two, and then bring them back up. Okay, now if you note, they're all solved relative to one another on their perspective slices, which is exactly what I wanted. If I really decided to, I could just move them all in like that, but it's actually not important that I do that quite yet, because I'm going to use these layers to group up pieces on some of the edge groups down here. So I'm just going to pick a color at random. I'm going to pick this color, and the opposite color is that one. So I'm going to try to work on those. So I have one group, and it belongs right here. So I'm actually going to place that one right now. So I'll place the other one of the opposite color back here, and the other two of that color I'm going to place on the other sides. You just do random maneuvering in order to get them all where you need them to go. So one of the things that I can do is I can just go like that and swap both of the groups from the bottom to the top, or I can move it halfway and rotate the upper slice around to exchange just these two. So with that, you should be able to group all of them up. Alright, and after I have that done, I'm going to pair all of these up then. And I'm going to place them in a configuration where I can just slice through here and place them between where they need to go, like that. I just move them into the correct positions then, relative to the pieces that are already solved. Now I should be left with just this central layer here, this central slice that needs to be solved. So I'm going to position that so that my centers are correct. I'm going to basically show you how you can recycle large groups individually on the different layers at the same time, but not necessarily in the same direction. So I need this piece to go right here. So I'm gonna move that one up. Now this piece needs to go on the other side somewhere. It needs to go here, so I'm gonna bring that up. And this piece needs to go on the other side somewhere, but I can't just do that because it's already there. So this one's gonna be going in the opposite direction of these ones. So I'm going to move all of these across to here, and all of these ones across to here. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to move them onto this central band here, which is the 3x3 layer at the moment. Rotate that 180 degrees for the front. Exchange the two. Bring them back up. And move them back over. And after that, I just basically rotate the other ones around. So I put those ones back. So when I exchange again, I'm gonna this one's gonna come here. This one's gonna go there. You know, they're basically just gonna swap positions. So these two will place, and these two will place also. So I'm gonna move it to the center, bring it down, exchange them, bring them back up, and move them back over. And if done correctly, you should be able to do all of the layers very quickly that way. There's configurations where you can't do it in just a 3 cycle, but you should be able to do it in not much more than that. Or you could just use other techniques to fix the pieces on the upper and lower layers a little bit more easily after you've configured the other ones. So they're the ones that are going to cause you problems because they actually have exact positioning. Anyway, that's how I solve it.